welcome to a quick video. I stumbled across this in Flatzoid. Yes, Flatzoid again, I do apologize. He's the only flat earther that I do videos about currently that puts out regular stuff. Or at least on a basis that I can have a look at. Flatzoid posted this in the community tab, a link to this video with, oh, what's that about scientific truth? And I briefly watched the short and I had to laugh very hard. So let us have a look.
Particular lie about science that has permeated modern culture. Check this out.
And there are different kinds of truth than scientific truth. For example, mathematics.
First of all, there is no scientific truth, so that's already starting well. Okay, so there is no scientific truth. Now, truth is not a term that is even defined within the confines of science, right? There is no truth in science. It's kind of like saying there is proof in science, which there is also not. If there was any truth in science, then how would you disprove it if it's true? Science does not make absolute statements about the truth of its hypotheses or theories or laws or, the body of science. So already, that's wrong. There is no scientific truth.
Mathematical
truth, however, exists. Mathematics is a framework in which to express numbers, and within this framework that we kind of came up with, there can be such a thing as truth. There is a written proof, for example, that 1 + 1 does in fact equal 2. Now, this sounds very trivial, but in mathematical notation, this proof is actually not that trivial to look at in formal or kind of, if you wish, logical mathematics. There's a book about it. I believe it's by Kurt Gödel, the Austrian mathematician, or did he talk about it? I'm not entirely sure now, but you can Google it. The proof that 1 + 1 actually does equal 2, which is quite sophisticated. Logical truth kind of is mathematical truth, since mathematics more or less is logic expressed as numbers.
Truths, which are assumed by, not proved by, science.
Now, science doesn't assume mathematical truths. It uses mathematics as its language, and thus the things that can be held that can held to be true in mathematics, for example, that 1 + 1 = 2, can of course then be extended into physics. Now, something else that I would like to mention here immediately. This is William Lane Craig, about the least qualified person I can imagine to talk about science. He's a Christian, I guess you could say, philosopher and theologian, I guess, describes him best, and somewhat well-known anti-scientific, like with anti-evolution and all of that stuff. I have a brief Wikipedia overlook here. He has no qualifications in science whatsoever. He's a philosopher or a theologian with, in my opinion, very questionable beliefs. So I find it extremely funny that William here is trying to tell us something about science, and that apparently people, seem to like to listen to him for whatever reason.
Metaphysics.
He has a nice voice, I give you that. But apart from that, his opinion about science is about as important as my opinion on ancient Greek literature, which is non-existent. Now, the difference here between me and William is that I don't claim to be knowledgeable about ancient Greek literature.
Physical truths about the nature of reality, like the reality of the external world.
That's a nonsense statement. The truth about the reality of the external world. We have left the realms of science, I mean, since, I guess, the beginning of this video, but now we are like firmly outside of its influence.
World of the reality of the past. Ethical and aesthetic truths.
None of these can even be truths in a scientific sense, and science doesn't concern with beauty or aesthetics. How would that be true? I'm at a loss here.
About the good and the beautiful.
The good and the beautiful. Yes, I recall learning about the good and the beautiful in university in the science classes.
and even scientific truths themselves. The
Again, there are no scientific truths.
fact is that modern science is permeated by assumptions which cannot themselves be scientifically proven.
There are a couple of scientific assumptions that have to be made. For example, that nature is actually a thing that exists, right? That's totally an assumption, but a very reasonable one, because we, describing nature without nature even existing would be a pretty useless subject, right? So there are a couple of assumptions, but they are at an extremely basic level, and most sane people would agree that they actually make sense, or at least that the pursuit of science would be completely meaningless if the assumptions were wrong, right? So what's going on, people? Come on, get your stuff together, and maybe there are criticisms that can be made about science and about how we handle science, right? With all the journals and all of that stuff. I'm open to all of these criticisms. This is not one of them, especially not by someone as unqualified to talk about it as William Lane Craig. So I have to do 3 things here. First of all, this video is complete crap. The message that it's trying to send couldn't be any more wrong. Second thing, shame on you, Daily Dose of Wisdom, which, there was no wisdom in that statement whatsoever. And Flatsoid, come on. Why are you using philosophers to tell scientists how their science is wrong? Maybe because you can't find any actual scientists telling us that our stuff is wrong. Come on, people. Come on. Get your at least try to put up a fight if you could, that would be actually nice. Yeah, I think I leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this silly little video. If you did, consider leaving a like, or if you enjoyed it a lot, maybe I can get you to consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.